I tell you, a martini is classy as hell, but it's just booze. It's literally one sip and you're like, oh. Hey, I'm Alex, and welcome back to Shake It Till You Make It, where we're breaking down classic cocktails to their foundation, so you can create your own. Today, we're talking about one of the classiest cocktails out there, the martini. It's definitely not a hard drink to make, but it's one that can be tough to get right. For a drink that, at its core, is only 2 ingredients, it seems that everyone has their own take on it. You don't just walk up to a bar and order a martini. You order it wet. You order it dry, with gin or with vodka, or dirty. Or as our hero James Bond likes to order it, shaken. But we'll get to that later. We'll start with a classic gin martini. So again, you're gonna wanna make it in your stirring glass and mixing cup so that you can control the temperature. And because it's such a simple drink, the technique is really important here. So you wanna make sure you're serving it into a chilled glass. All right, we're gonna start with 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of dry vermouth. The amortized wine is really there to balance out some of the harshness of the spirit, and just 1 dash of orange bitters. The orange bitters is gonna help bring out some of the fruitness and the flavor of the juniper of the gin. Grab a couple ice cubes. As we're doing this, you can start to smell the orange and vermouth coming together, and the aroma is really, really nice. This is chilled. And the coupe glass is really important in a martini. It's gonna keep it cold for longer. You're gonna be able to hold the glass by the stem and not the glass itself. And it looks really nice. A little bit better than some of the other glasses out there. Garnish with a twist of lemon. A little bit over the top. There you go. Gin martini. Cheers. Delicious. It's great. The martini is really seen as this sort of sexy and sophisticated drink, which I think is absolutely awesome because it's just booze. It's literally just booze served up cold. For such a sort of classic and iconic drink, it really does have some humble beginnings. During the gold rush, a gold miner walked into a bar to celebrate his good fortune and asked the bartender to make him something special. The bartender whipped together what he had on hand, some gin, vermouth, and some other goodies, and voila, the Martinez, named after the town in California from which it originated. The key here is really balancing out the flavor and the sharpness of the spirit with the sweet flavor of the vermouth. To understand how you like your martini, you need to understand if you like it dry, standard, or wet. A dry martini is gonna be about 2.5 ounces of gin or vodka, however you like it, and 1/4 ounce of vermouth. If you like it a little drier or a little more standard, I guess, you do about 2 ounces of gin and 1 ounce of vermouth. Or if you like it really wet and really want more of the vermouth flavor, you do 50-50, 1.5 ounces of each. Those are just sort of guidelines, but you could really go as dry or wet as you want. Once you sort of figure that out, then you can sort of add in other flavors, and that's really where you can customize it. Do you want a twist of lemon or orange or another fruit? Or do you like a more salty flavor? You wanna understand if you like it wet or dry or with vodka, and I think that's a good place to go next. 2.5 ounces of vodka. Vodka has a much more nuanced flavor than gin. So we're gonna make this dry because you don't want the vermouth to overpower the vodka. We're gonna take 1/2 ounce of our dry vermouth, and then we'll stir it on ice. Vodka's really not as sweet as gin. What goes really well with it is sort of more of a salty flavor. So we're gonna add an olive garnish. Pour out the ice, strain this into our chilled coupe, and we're gonna garnish with an olive. Beautiful. Cheers. The vodka is, not overpowering. The vermouth because we're not using too much, they really work together. And the olive helps bring a little saltiness to it. With just 3 ingredients, it feels like a really full-bodied drink. We're gonna make our Dirty Martini now. You should know this by now. We're gonna start with a nice cold coupe glass. 2.5 ounces of vodka. Maybe a little extra. 1/2 ounce of vermouth. And now 1/2 ounce of the olive brine. Whatever olives you choose is really gonna become the hero of the drink. Stir it on ice. Really mix those together. And strain it over our nice chilled coupe glass. And this time, why don't we garnish it with 2 olives? Let's go crazy. Cheers. It's really good. I mean, you really get a lot of the olive flavor. Like that's really what you're tasting here. So you wanna make sure what olives you're choosing you like, but it really just adds this saltiness and dynamic to it that you don't get with just an olive flavoring. This drink is so simple, but it's so hard to get right because it's the proportions that really make it unique and your own. I mean, what's gonna go wrong if you experiment with a bunch of different martinis? Sounds like a fun night to me. The martini can be customized in so many different ways. Really, that includes a lot of different liqueurs and spirits that we don't have in our home bar. But if we're gonna make the Vesper James Bond's, we need to break the rules a little bit. And I think I have a little Lillet in the fridge. And while we don't necessarily recommend that you shake your martinis, I think we need to go full-fledged Bond for the Vesper. We're gonna build it in our shakers. So we take about 1.25 ounce of gin. We're gonna take 3/4 ounce of vodka. And instead of vermouth this time, and we're breaking our own rules, but hopefully you can understand, we're gonna use 1/2 ounce of Lillet. And instead of stirring like we recommend, we're gonna shake it. When you shake a drink, you know, the ice is really getting bruised and broken in there. And because of that, you're gonna wanna double filter your drink. And we're gonna take a twist of lemon, express that over the drink. Cheers. You can really tell that it's shaken, not stirred. Because some of the flavors are like a little muted in it, but the Lillet is really not as sweet as the vermouth, which I like. And mixing the gin and vodka is kind of interesting. I actually just watched Casino Royale recently, and he drinks so many of these. I wonder if he shakes it because he knows it's gonna water down the drink a little bit so that he can drink more of them and still shoot straight. Either way, I think I would make this again. It's absolutely delicious. Oh man, did you forget to like and subscribe? There's still time.